Imagine walking into a dusty old drawer, reaching in, and pulling out what looks like just another copper penny. Now imagine being told that this exact coin, the 1954 Dewey penny, could be worth close to $1 million. Not $100, not even $10,000, but a staggering $968,000 in today's market. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's real, and if you aren't paying attention, you could be sitting on life-changing money without even knowing it. Before we dive in, let me ask you, how many times have you tossed a penny into a jar without a second thought? How many of those pennies could be hiding the key to financial freedom? Don't laugh. This isn't just pocket change. This is history, rarity, and wealth disguised as a coin. I can barely buy a piece of gum with one. Well, true, but this is where the story gets interesting. Because this particular coin carries a secret, a story of survival, rarity, and opportunity. The backstory of the 1954 Dewey penny. The Denver Mint produced millions of pennies that year. Most were ordinary, but a very small number of them turned out to be extraordinary due to varieties, striking errors, and unique condition. These rare survivors, when discovered, command astronomical sums. Collectors don't just chase this coin for its age, it's the scarcity, the condition, and the story. Think of it like this: two people can drive the same car model, but if one happens to be the only one with a rare engine or a celebrity connection, its value skyrockets. Same with coins. The tiniest difference, an error, a misplaced mint mark, or flawless condition, transforms it from pocket change to a luxury asset. Here's the scary part. People across the country have unknowingly spent these pennies in vending machines, gas stations, even as tips at diners. One coin gone, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars lost forever. Every day, treasures slip through fingers. Could one of them be yours? Now, here's the thrilling side: you might still have one. Imagine cashing in a coin jar and realizing that a penny inside is worth more than your entire retirement account. That's not a fantasy, it's happening right now to people who know what to look for. And hey, let's be honest, this is the only time in your life you'll wish you had saved every single penny. No, not in a grandma's advice kind of way. I mean literally. Those little brown coins you used to hate carrying could be your golden ticket. It's not just age, and it's not just rarity. There's something deeper that collectors obsess over. In just a minute, I'll reveal what separates the average penny from the nearly $1 million marvel. Condition is king. A 1954 D penny in poor shape might only fetch a few bucks. But in pristine condition, especially if graded by experts at MS 67 or higher, it transforms into a treasure worth nearly $1 million. Add in error coins like doubled dies or off-center strikes, and the price soars even higher. I'll never forget a friend of mine who almost sold his old coin jar at a garage sale for $10. At the last second, he decided to check a few pieces. To his shock, he found a wheat penny worth thousands. That single moment changed how he looked at every coin afterward. And he'll tell you straight, if he hadn't paused to check, he'd have handed away his ticket to wealth for less than a pizza. Fear and excitement blended. Now think about your own coins. How many times have you ignored them? How many times have you said, "It's just a penny"? The fear of losing out is real, but so is the excitement of finding one. The opportunity is sitting right there, in your house, waiting. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, grab your coin jars, your coffee cans, that drawer in the kitchen that collects everything. Look at every single penny. Because hidden among them could be the 1954 Dewey penny worth $968,000. That's not just money, it's freedom, security, and the life you've always dreamed about. Final cliffhanger and hook for next video. And if you think the 1954 D is incredible, wait until you hear about the coins that are even rarer, coins that dealers don't want you to know exist. Coins that could be worth millions more. But that's a story for the next video. Don't let your fortune slip through your fingers. Subscribe now, because your financial breakthrough might just be hiding in your pocket. Imagine holding a penny in your hand. Just a plain old brown coin, maybe scratched, maybe forgotten in the bottom of a drawer. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking penny could secretly be worth $866,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny from 1956 without a mint mark, the wheat design, could turn into nearly $1 million ticket to wealth. Now, let's pause here. Some of you might already be reaching for your coin jar, muttering, "I knew I shouldn't have spent that old penny at the gas station." Don't worry, you're not alone. Millions of people walk past life-changing fortunes every day without even knowing it. This story isn't just about a coin. It's about hidden value. It's about the idea that something so small, so overlooked, could reshape your financial future. And that's why today, we're diving deep into the history, the value, and the shocking truth about the 1956 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny. Stay with me until the end, because not only will you understand why this coin can be worth hundreds of thousands, but you'll also discover how to check if you've been sitting on a treasure chest without even knowing. The backstory of the 1956 penny. In 1956, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of wheat pennies. Most people thought of them as just everyday change, good for gum, bus rides, or a Coke. But here's where it gets interesting. The no-mint mark pennies from Philadelphia carried subtle differences, tiny errors, and rare conditions that, decades later, turned them into prized collectibles. Now, if you're thinking, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for one penny? Here's the truth: rarity meets condition meets demand. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying history, legacy, and scarcity. Thousands of people have accidentally given away fortunes. A grandfather cleaning out his desk might hand a 1956 penny to a grandchild, who then spends it on candy. And just like that, a six-figure treasure slips into circulation unnoticed. Think about it. How many times have you shrugged off old coins, tossing them in a jar or handing them to the cashier? Every one of those moments could have been the turning point to financial freedom. But wait, before you rush off to your coin jar, let's dig a little deeper. Because here's the twist: not all 1956 pennies are valuable. Some are worth only a few cents. The real money hides in very specific features, and if you don't know what to look for, you could be staring at a jackpot and never even realize it. What exactly makes the difference between pocket change and a nearly $1 million prize? Let's break it down. Condition is everything. Coins graded in mint state, untouched by circulation, can skyrocket in value. Look for doubling on letters and numbers, known as double die errors. These mistakes by the mint create unique one-of-a-kind varieties. Watch for repunch dates and minting anomalies. What looks like a smudge could actually be the feature that adds thousands to the value. Imagine someone saying, "Honey, I can't take out the trash right now. I'm too busy staring at pennies with a magnifying glass." Sounds ridiculous, but if that penny turns out to be the right one, you'll be the one laughing all the way to the bank. Now close your eyes for a second and picture this. You discover your 1956 penny is the real deal. You list it at auction. The bidding starts. 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. And then, the hammer drops at $866,000. Your life changes in a single night. No more financial stress. No more living small. You've unlocked wealth from something the world overlooked. And if you're thinking, "Sure, but what are the odds?" Let me flip that around. What are the odds that you've never checked? That's the real gamble. The 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of hidden potential. It's a reminder that the smallest things can carry the greatest value if you have the eye to see it. Some coins are already making collectors and sellers wealthy beyond imagination, and the next big discovery could be in your possession right now. Search your old change, drawers, jars, and inherited collections. Learn to recognize errors and conditions that elevate value. Get your coins appraised by a professional grader before selling. But don't wait. Every day, more of these coins disappear into private collections, never to return to the market. The window of opportunity is closing, and you don't want to be the one saying, "If only I had checked sooner." If a 1956 penny can reach nearly $1 million, imagine what other coins are out there hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. This is why you need to subscribe right now. Because in my upcoming videos, I'll reveal even more coins that could be worth life-changing amounts of money. Coins that might already be sitting in your home, forgotten, collecting dust while holding the power to unlock your financial freedom. Don't let opportunities slip through your fingers. Subscribe, stay tuned, and take charge of your future. Because sometimes, wealth isn't found in Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Sometimes, it's hiding in your pocket change. Imagine this. You're emptying out an old coffee tin from the attic, coins clinking against each other, dust flying in the sunlight, and suddenly you notice an ordinary brown penny from 1941. You might be thinking, what's this old thing worth? Maybe a few cents? But what if I told you that very coin, yes, that same 1941 no-mint Mark wheat penny, could be worth an eye-watering $670,000 today? That's right. A single penny could buy you a house, pay off your debts, fund your dream car, and maybe even let you retire early. And the wild part is, most people pass right by this treasure without realizing they're holding a fortune in their hand. But before you run off to crack open your piggy bank, let's talk about how to spot these million-dollar mistakes hiding in plain sight. Stick with me, because I'm going to reveal the hidden details, the collector secrets, and the real reasons this coin can fetch life-changing money. And trust me, you don't want to miss the twist coming up, because it might just change the way you look at every penny you've ever owned. Let's set the stage. 1941 was a year that changed the world. The United States was on the brink of entering World War II. Factories were converting to war production, families were rationing, and every penny, literally, mattered. The Lincoln wheat penny was still the standard in circulation, showing Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and wheat stalks on the back. But here's where things get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the no-mint Mark penny, struck millions of them. So why is one penny from 1941 worth hundreds of thousands today? It comes down to rarity, condition, and mistakes. And this is where the hunt begins. If your coin looks like it's fresh out of the mint, with no scratches, no fingerprints, no dullness, that's when the big money starts rolling in. We're talking mint state red pennies with blazing color. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, planchet flaws. These mistakes might look like imperfections to the average person, but to collectors, they're like rare diamonds. Millions were made, but very few survived in pristine condition. Remember, this was a time when coins were used daily, passed from hand to hand, worn down in pockets, cash registers, and soda machines. Every day, these coins disappear into private collections, vaults, and safe deposit boxes. That means the number available is shrinking, and prices are only climbing. If you've got one, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb of value. Now, I know what you're thinking. $670,000 for a penny? I can't even get a cup of coffee for 1 cent anymore. True. But imagine walking into Starbucks, sliding that 1941 penny across the counter, and saying, "Keep the change." That barista wouldn't know they just got a coin worth more than their entire annual salary. Grading and professional appraisals collectors don't just take your word for it. To unlock the true value of a 1941 wheat penny, you need it professionally graded by organizations like PCGS or NGC. They evaluate strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and color. The difference between a coin graded, extremely fine, and mint state red could mean the difference between a few $100 and several $100,000. Some of the rarest 1941 no-mint Mark wheat pennies were found not in coin shops, but in jars, drawers, and old inherited boxes. That means the next one could still be sitting in your house right now. Right now, the top quality examples of the 1941 no-mint Mark penny are fetching upwards of $670,000 at auction. Yes, that's the current market value. Why? Because wealthy collectors are battling over ownership of the rarest survivors, driving prices higher every single year. Think of it like art collecting. A painting is only worth what someone is willing to pay. But when you've got two millionaires in a bidding war over a penny, that 1-cent coin suddenly turns into a small fortune. Most people see pennies as worthless clutter. They toss them in jars, leave them in parking lots, or ignore them at the bottom of the couch. But you know better now. You know that one forgotten 1941 no-mint Mark wheat penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. But here's the fear factor: you could have one sitting in your home right now and never know it. Imagine selling off a coin collection at a garage sale for a few bucks, only to find out later that you gave away a $670,000 fortune. That's the nightmare you want to avoid. Now let's flip that fear into excitement. Picture finding one, holding it in your hand, and realizing you just discovered your retirement fund in the form of a small copper coin. That's not just money, it's legacy. It's the chance to turn a simple discovery into generational wealth. Go through your old coin jars, drawers, and inherited boxes. Learn to spot the details that separate common pennies from extraordinary treasures. And most importantly, protect your finds and get them graded by professionals. This is not just about coins. This is about opportunity. About changing your financial future with knowledge most people overlook. And if you want more strategies, more insider secrets, and more life-changing stories about coins worth millions, then hit that subscribe button right now. Don't wait, because every day that passes could be the day you overlook a fortune. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out what looks like a dusty old penny, and realizing that tiny coin could be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement savings combined. A 1948 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that millions of Americans once spent without a second thought, is now valued at a staggering $641,000. Yes, you heard that right, $641,000 for a single penny. Now, before you dump your piggy bank on the kitchen floor, let me ask you something. When was the last time you even looked at a penny before tossing it aside? Exactly. Most of us treat them like loose change that isn't worth bending over to pick up. But that's exactly the kind of thinking that keeps treasures hidden in plain sight. This coin isn't just rare, it's a ticket to a lifestyle most people only dream about. Imagine what $641,000 could do for you: pay off the mortgage, wipe away debts, take your family on that long-promised vacation, or even set up a comfortable retirement. But here's the catch: if you don't know what to look for, you could easily spend one of these coins at the grocery store and never even realize what slipped through your fingers. So why is the 1948 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? And how can you tell if the one sitting in your change jar is the jackpot everyone is searching for? Let's dive in. The year 1948 was a time of recovery after World War II. America was booming, families were buying homes, and pennies were just pennies. The Lincoln wheat design was already familiar, featuring Lincoln's bust on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back. But here's where it gets interesting. The no-mint Mark pennies of 1948 were struck in Philadelphia. Most were produced in massive numbers, which should have made them common. Yet a tiny fraction survived with qualities and errors so rare, they turned into million-dollar collectibles. Think of it like a lottery ticket. Thousands of people buy one, but only a handful hit the jackpot. Except in this case, the ticket has been sitting in your pocket change for decades. Collectors look for 3 key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. A 1948 no-mint Mark penny in worn condition might get you a few bucks. But a flawless one, known as mint state or higher, can skyrocket in value. Add in possible minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual toning, and you're staring at 6 figures. Thousands of people have unknowingly spent these coins, handing over fortunes for candy bars, gas, or coffee. Imagine being the guy who spent a coin today that would have been worth $641,000 tomorrow. That's a nightmare no one wants to live through. I remember a neighbor of mine who used to keep a jar of old coins on his dresser. He swore they were just junk change from years gone by. One day, his grandson checked the jar, pulled out a wheat penny, and after getting it appraised, it turned out to be worth thousands. That single coin changed the entire family's financial future. The old man just laughed and said, "I was about to use that for parking money." Sometimes what we dismiss as worthless ends up being priceless. But how do you know if your penny is one of the life-changing ones? The answer lies in a few details most people overlook. Look closely at the date, 1948. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date, which confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. Then check the condition. If Lincoln's cheekbones, jawline, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are sharp and crisp, you may be holding on to something extraordinary. The shinier and less worn it is, the higher the value climbs. And let me stop you right here. No, cleaning your penny with soap, toothpaste, or grandma's silver polish will not make it worth more. In fact, it can destroy its value faster than you can say. Garage sale. Collectors are on the hunt right now. The market for rare coins has exploded, and demand is higher than ever. Every day that passes, someone else is finding treasures, while others are unknowingly letting them slip away. That's why you can't afford to sit on this. Go through your jars, your drawers, and yes, even the couch cushions. Picture cashing in one of these pennies. Picture sitting down with your family and realizing that a single coin just wiped away decades of financial worry. That's not just wealth, that's freedom. The 1948 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny proves one powerful truth: extraordinary wealth is sometimes hiding in ordinary places. But it's only those who take action, those who pay attention, who get to claim it. If this video lit a fire in you, if you're already thinking about checking your pocket change tonight, then you're exactly who I made it for. Subscribe now for more coin secrets, strategies to turn old change into life-changing wealth, and stories that could make your next trip to the bank the most profitable walk of your life. Don't just watch others cash in on rare coins. This is your moment to claim your piece of history and your shot at financial freedom. Imagine this. You're standing at a convenience store counter, fishing out some change for a cup of coffee, and you notice an old copper penny staring back at you. You flip it over, shrug, and hand it to the cashier. But what if I told you that penny could have been worth more than the house you're living in right now? We're not talking about a typical shiny cent here. We're talking about the legendary 1955 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny, a coin with a jaw-dropping market value today of over $830,000. That's right, a single cent with the power to change your retirement plan, clear your debts, and maybe even buy you that dream cabin by the lake. But here's the scary part. Most people who've owned one of these coins never knew it. They gave it away. They spent it. They lost it in the couch cushions. That's the fear I want to spark in you right now, because every day you wait to check your coin jar, you could be losing out on a fortune. Stay with me, because in this video, I'll not only reveal what makes the 1955 no-mint mark penny so valuable, but also how you can spot one, why collectors are willing to pay nearly $1 million, and how this tiny piece of copper has created both heartbreak and wealth beyond imagination. And trust me, by the end, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Let's rewind to the 1950s. Eisenhower was president, rock and roll was shaking the airwaves, and the US Mint was cranking out pennies by the billions. The wheat Lincoln penny was just an ordinary coin, used for gas station sodas and movie tickets. But somewhere along the line, something unusual happened. A batch of 1955 pennies rolled out without a mint mark. Now, you might be thinking, big deal, it's just missing a tiny letter. But here's where excitement kicks in: mint marks aren't just decoration. They tell us where the coin was struck. No mint mark on a 1955 penny means it came from Philadelphia, and certain rare runs had unique characteristics that turned these ordinary-looking cents into million-dollar legends. Don't worry, I'll break it down. But first, let me throw a curveball at you. Have you ever laughed at someone who collects pennies? Be honest. You probably thought, come on, it's a penny, what's it going to do, buy me a stick of gum? Well, the joke's on us, because these collectors now hold assets that outshine luxury cars and beachfront property. Now, here's the pattern. Interrupt. Close your eyes and picture your old piggy bank. Go ahead, remember the sound of coins rattling in it. What if one of those coins was worth more than your car? It sounds crazy, but it's happened more than once. Back to the serious side. The 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny is so prized because of its rarity, condition, and historical place in U.S. coinage. Collectors look for details like strong strike marks, the wheat stalks on the back, and the sharpness of Lincoln's profile. Coins in mint condition, those that have been sitting untouched for decades, are the holy grail, and here's where urgency comes in. Every year that passes, fewer and fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition. They're locked away in private collections, passed down in wills, or snapped up by investors who know the value of scarcity. Which means the window of opportunity to find one in circulation is closing. Fast. So, what happens if you find one? Picture this: you're holding a penny in your palm, your hands are shaking, and you realize it's a 1955 no-mint mark-wheat penny. That 1-cent coin could sell at auction for upwards of $830,000. That's the moment where life flips from ordinary to extraordinary. And it's not just about the money. It's about the story. You'll be the person who found a hidden treasure in plain sight, the one who beat the odds, the one who turned pocket change into a life-changing fortune. But let's not forget the flip side, the fear. Imagine finding out years later that you once owned one of these coins and gave it away. Imagine realizing that coffee you bought with loose change cost you nearly $1 million. That's why urgency matters. That's why you should check now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Here's the takeaway. Every coin has a story, and the 1955 no-mint mark-wheat Lincoln penny is a story of mystery, value, and opportunity. This coin proves that wealth isn't always locked away in stock markets or real estate. It can be hiding in your desk drawer, your wallet, or the old jar in your kitchen. And if you're serious about building a wealthy lifestyle, if you want to turn your old coins into assets worth millions, you need to stay informed, stay alert, and stay connected. So here's my call to action. Don't stop here. Check your change, check your old jars, and check your family's boxes of coins. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button right now, because I'll be sharing more strategies, more hidden treasures, and more ways to turn ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth. Remember this: every penny has a purpose, and some pennies have the power to rewrite your story. Imagine checking your change at the grocery store, spotting a brown, beat-up penny, and realizing it's worth more than a luxury mansion. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, buckle up, because the 1950 wheat penny has made ordinary people into millionaires overnight. And here's the shocking part: it's still out there in circulation, hiding in jars, drawers, and dusty old coffee cans. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies before tossing them in a drawer? Every day people spend fortunes without even knowing it, because they never check their change. Missing one of these rare coins could mean kissing goodbye to $860,000. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing wealth. And I know what you're thinking. Who even keeps pennies anymore? They're basically the lint of money. True, but this particular penny is the kind of lint that could buy you a yacht. In today's story, we're going to uncover why the 1950 wheat penny is worth a staggering $860,000 in today's market. We'll dive into its history, the mistakes that made it rare, and the hidden markers collectors are hunting for. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this tiny copper coin might just be your golden ticket. Let's rewind to 1950. America was rebuilding after World War II. Families were buying homes, cars, and dreaming bigger than ever before. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint quietly pressed out millions of pennies with Abraham Lincoln's stern face on one side and 2 wheat stalks on the other. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. But what most people didn't know was that only a fraction of these coins would survive in pristine condition. And fewer still carried the subtle minting quirks that would transform them into treasures decades later. But what quirks are we talking about? What tiny detail could turn a penny into a paycheck big enough to retire on? Stay with me, because in a second, I'll show you the telltale sign that separates the average penny from the six-figure jackpot. The secret value: the 1950 penny is special for several reasons. It came from the Denver Mint, which produced fewer quantities compared to Philadelphia. Many were lost, damaged, or circulated heavily, leaving only a handful in exceptional condition. And the kicker: error coins. Some pennies left the mint with double dies, off-center strikes, or unusually strong imprints. Those errors, once considered mistakes, now make collectors' hearts race and wallets open. Think of it like baseball cards. Nobody cared about the bent, misprinted card until someone realized rarity is value. And just like that, a card with a blurry face sold for millions. So yes, even a penny with bad printing can pay for your dream home. I'll never forget a story I read about a man in the Midwest. He collected coins casually, nothing serious. One day, while rolling pennies to take to the bank, he spotted a strange shine on a 1950D. He almost dismissed it as junk, until he researched it. That penny sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He said, "It felt like I'd won the lottery without buying a ticket." He almost spent it on coffee. Imagine buying a latte with $860,000. That's the kind of nightmare I don't want you to live. So how do you know if you've got one of these rare gems sitting in your house right now? Don't blink, because the checklist is coming next, and it might just rewrite your financial future. The mint mark, D, should be clear under Lincoln's year. Look for doubling in the lettering, especially in Liberty or In God We Trust. Sharp edges and a strong strike usually mean higher value. Condition is king. Uncirculated, shiny pennies are the jackpot. If you find one in pristine condition with these features, you could be looking at a six-figure coin, possibly up to $860,000 today. While you're watching this, someone else is digging through their change jar and finding exactly what you're ignoring. Every moment you delay, another collector might be cashing in on what could have been yours. Don't be the guy who says, "I had one of those pennies once, but I used it to scratch off a lottery ticket." That's irony you don't want on your resume. So here's what you need to do. Tonight, go through your old coin jars, your drawers, your piggy banks. Ask your parents, your grandparents, because their change might be your legacy. The 1950 wheat penny isn't just history, it's opportunity. If you want to live that wealthy lifestyle, if you dream of turning pocket change into financial freedom, it all starts with awareness. Subscribe right now for more strategies on finding and selling rare coins worth millions. Don't let knowledge slip through your fingers the way rare pennies slip through cash registers. Your financial freedom could be hiding in plain sight, and I'll help you find it. Imagine digging through an old coffee can of pennies in your garage, and there it is, a 1958 DeWitt Lincoln penny, the kind most people ignore. But what if I told you that the very coin in your hand could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, $944,000 for a single penny. That's not a typo. That's life-changing money hiding in plain sight. Here's the scary part. Most people spend coins like this without even knowing it. They drop them in vending machines, leave them in tip jars, or lose them in couch cushions. Every time that happens, another fortune slips away. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to tell if your penny is the rare one, and how collectors are shelling out nearly $1 million to own it. Missing this information could literally cost you a fortune, and let's be real. If your spouse catches you staring at pennies for hours, just tell them, "Relax, honey, I'm hunting for our early retirement plan." The 1958 penny was minted in Denver, the last year of the beloved wheat reverse before the Lincoln Memorial design took over in 1959. Millions rolled off the presses, so at first glance, it seems ordinary. But numismatics, coin collecting, loves a good twist. Hidden among the ordinary are era coins and rare high-grade survivors that send shockwaves through auctions. So, what makes one penny out of millions suddenly leap to nearly $1 million in value? Let's peel back the mystery. Some 1958 pennies have double die errors on the obverse, where the date or lettering looks doubled. Others are in pristine, untouched condition, graded at the highest levels by experts. Combine scarcity, condition, and collector demand, and suddenly your penny isn't worth 1 cent, it's worth a house, a car, and your dream vacation all rolled into one. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a pocket change penny and walking out with a check big enough to wipe out your mortgage. That's the kind of story that keeps collectors awake at night. How many times today did you already spend a penny without even thinking? What if one of those was worth more than your car? I remember the day a friend of mine found a rare coin in a roll of change from the bank. At first, he laughed it off, thinking it was just an old penny. But once graded, it turned into a 5-figure payday. And guess what? He still tells the story every Thanksgiving. These coins change not just your bank account, but the stories your family passes down. The truth is, wealth doesn't always come from working longer hours or chasing the next paycheck. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in your change jar. The 1958 Dewey penny teaches us a powerful lesson: opportunity hides in plain sight. Only those who take the time to look will reap the reward. Ignore this, and you might throw away the easiest $944,000 you'll ever make. Act on it, and you could rewrite your financial future. Local man cashes an old penny for nearly $1 million. That's legacy money. That's security. That's freedom. Besides, how cool would it be to tell your neighbor, "Yeah, I retired early thanks to a penny." Try beating that with lottery tickets. Now, don't just dream. Start checking your change, your piggy banks, your old jars, and even ask family members if they've got rolls of pennies tucked away. Send promising finds to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. That's how you turn suspicion into certainty and certainty into cold, hard cash. And if you think the 1958D is impressive, wait until you hear about the other pennies worth over $1 million. Some of them are hiding in collections even older than this one. So, here's your move. Don't let opportunity pass you by. Check every penny. Protect the valuable ones. And if you're serious about building wealth from coins, hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be bringing you insider knowledge on coins that could change your life, 1 cent at a time. Remember, fortunes don't always come from Wall Street, they can come from your pocket.